Strobe flashing lights warning. Skip to 20 seconds into the video to avoid. Friday, karaoke house party.
Ready?
Pride to Makenzie.
There you go. I'm okay.
It's the next morning, and like my shirt says, I am gay and tired. Last night I gave myself this fake tattoo half sleeve to see if I want one for real. Even though I got a full night's sleep and took a shower this morning, I am still so exhausted. The chronic fatigue was fatiguing. As these sped up clips play of me getting ready for Dyk March while I drink electrolytes, I want to talk about my different approach to accessibility this year. And I don't mean just for Dyk March, but for Pride Weekend NYC in general. This is my third year being chronically ill and disabled during Pride, and I've learned to ask myself, what are the things that I really, really want to do, and what are the things that I'm not going to care that much if I miss? And what are the things that we can modify so that I can still participate, like throwing a karaoke party in my own basement with all of our friends so I don't have to leave my house, I can be in control of the ventilation, I can sit down and have my service dog right there with me, and I don't have to waste the spoons going out to a karaoke bar. Dyk March is a non-negotiable. And here's my awesome lesbian flag eyeshadow. I didn't do any other face makeup because masks are recommended at Dyk March. Now let's talk wheelchairs. 2 years ago, I didn't even know that wheelchairs were an option until I arrived. Thankfully, they had an extra. Last year, I requested one ahead of time. And this year, I finally have my own chair. Well, one downside of having your own chair is the accessible stalls. That door was so freaking heavy. 2 accommodations that I did request, though, a marshal to push me and cab fare.
I love your sign.
I think technically they call it the Spoons Fund or Spoonie Fund. Either way, it's really helpful to have some cab fare to get my wheelchair to and from Dyk March. The marshal and my girlfriend switched off pushing my chair, and the march moved very, very slow. It always does, though. At least there's always entertainment. Even though I was sitting the whole time, I was still feeling pretty potsy because we were outside. I'm really glad I brought my Potassium Fast Chews. They're electrolyte tablets that are chewable, and they're really good. I kept checking my heart rate because I was feeling really off, but it really wasn't that much higher than it normally is when I'm sitting down, so who knows? Every year, Dyk March has a theme, and this year's theme was Dykes Against Genocide. I was so proud to march or roll alongside my fellow queers. In general, for health reasons, I tend to not go to a lot of protests, but this felt like a very fitting way to participate. An accessible way for me to participate. Also, I got this creeper footage because I really like this person's chair and gloves and power assist. After the march, I realized I didn't get any videos or pictures of me in my chair. As I rolled into position, the streetlights turned on and it felt like a spotlight. I totally love how my chair and rim covers match the lesbian flag. And here are some of the signs that my girlfriend made for us to march with. Free Palestine, Free Sudan, Free Congo. Editing Mac here, just popping in for a quick, I guess, trigger warning, content warning. The next about 4 minutes of footage is church related, but it is a completely affirming and inclusive church, and I only am sharing clips that either I am a part of, I am singing, or of little snippets from the sermon from my dear queer friend Theon, sharing very queer affirming words, but still, if that is something that you're not into, something that is potentially too triggering for you as a queer person or just as a non-religious person in general, if that's not your jam, skip ahead to the minute marker that is here on the screen. All right, if you don't know me very well, you might be wondering, what? You went to a church on Sunday morning for Pride weekend? And yeah, I went to church on Sunday morning. I actually worked at this church for over 4 years. I decided to leave for health reasons, and my last day was at the end of February. And I haven't been back in person since. I took the rest of audition season and then the duration of my off-Broadway contract off because every Sunday for 4 years I've been going to church as my job, and it was just time to have some space away. When the worship pastor asked if I would sing with the choir and sing a solo on Pride Sunday, I had to say yes. This church is actually the reason I came out to begin with 5 years ago, so it was fitting to come back on this day.
Hi. Hi, I'm Makenzie or Mac, pronouns she, they. Haven't been here in 4 months, but I thought Pride Sunday was a good time to come back, right? We're so glad to have Mac back with us. Hey! Happy Pride, y'all! Celebrate Pride Sunday with me. All around, everywhere I look, your love is all around. Dance it out! Come on, kiddos! Can you dance with me? Let the nation sing. Let the nation sing. Let the people shout. Shout it out, shout it out. Let your kingdom come. Pour your spirit out. Pour it out, pour it out, pour it out now. Pour it out. Manifest, manifest your love. Love is love. Manifest, manifest your everywhere I look, your love is all around. Everywhere I look, your love is all around. Come on, choir. Everywhere I look, your love is all around. Everywhere I look, your love is all around. All around, all around, all around. Everywhere I look, your love is all around.
Heart rate check singing with the choir. It says 132 BPM, and 1 minute ago it was 106 BPM.
Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful. And I finally see I'm a work of art, a masterpiece. So when I heard the words, I am a masterpiece, listen, I can't cuss on this stage, but I was out there in a whole moment, just like, damn, okay, wait a minute. Like, I feel beautiful now. Wait a minute. The LGBTQIA2S plus community. And to my lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual or agender, and two-spirit siblings, you are magnificently and wonderfully made from creation, period. Okay? And that we are made in the image of our holy parent. He, she, they, a genderful God in all ways. We are masterpieces from creation. I want to invite anyone who wants to publicly share their identity on this stage with community, with yourself. This is the first time that you got to celebrate Pride inside of a church. And this is the first time that I've been on a stage or at church that had flags in front of me or that I felt so at home in.
Hi, Mac, pronouns she, they. I am a proud lesbian, and a year ago today I came out as gender fluid too. So there you go.
Editing Mac again. I totally forgot to finish out this vlog. Thank you for coming along with me on my Pride weekend. When it comes to accessibility, I really have to take it day by day, and things that I really wanted to prioritize this year maybe were different from last year. One other piece that I almost participated in but then decided against was going to re-speech. It was supposed to rain that afternoon, and it kind of did end up raining, so I just decided to call it after church on Sunday, and I went home and took a lovely nap. But in past years, sometimes we'd go to re-speech. Last year, we went to the Queer Liberation March, but this year I knew that I only had the spoons for one march, and I wanted that to be Dyk March. I also opted not to take my service dog with me to Dyk March or to church that Sunday for very specific reasons. Dyk March, I think it's too long of a walk and it's too crowded for her to task or for her to enjoy it. And I saw a lot of other dogs there. They were in booties. They seemed well taken care of, but they seemed overwhelmed, if I'm being honest. And it's a lot of people, and she can't really task for me in that setting anyway. So we figured we would both be happier if she just stayed home. She has come to church with me many, many times before, but since I was on stage singing, again, I decided to just leave her home so that she didn't have to be up there on stage with the drums and everything. She has ear protection, and maybe I'll do another video going more into detail about when I choose to take her and when I choose not to. But for this particular weekend, she did not come with me, and I opted for mobility aids and friends, human friends, to support me in the ways that I needed. That's all I have for you today. I hope you were drinking your hydration during this video. I didn't do a clear intro about that this time, but I'm drinking my electrolytes. Hopefully you had some hydration today too. Cheers.